Well, it is good to be back, and if you can recognize this place, that means that you've been playing for a very long while some kind of modpacks. And yes, we are here in the nothing because we are starting out a new modpack. And in this case, it is going to be Antimatter Chemistry. Antimatter Chemistry was actually one of the first modpacks I played. So yes, it is quite nice to be back, to be back on the beginnings. I was actually debating if to play something new. I was actually thinking of playing something new, but uh, if you've been here for a while, you know me. I change plans quite a lot. So yes, I changed it again, and now we are starting a new modpack. And most likely that would be the reason why I haven't posted like any video on January. Basically, it was for that. Anyway, before starting, we don't need the quest book, so goodbyes. And we can basically start with the quest. But first, let's just claim this start quest from the side quests. There are some quite interesting quests to get here. Let's start from the beginning. Welcome to Antimatter Dimension. You are safe here, but this is no place to spend the rest of eternity. It's time to find your way out. And let's claim everything, because in here we don't start punching night 3. What we start is collecting some white antimatter. And we also start collecting some light gray antimatter. But for now, let's just start planting some of these, some of this wet sand to get some sugarcane already growing. So we need to make some stone sharpening kits first. For that, we also need some light gray antimatter. Of course, this is important because we are going to be using a lot of pickups. So let's get 4 of them. Now the next thing is that we will need to get some sucrose. And for this, we are going to start using our chemical dissolver, which we got from the first quest. This one right here. As well as a culinary generator, as we will need to generate some energy first. Can I use this? No, I can't. So I think I should be able to use the bread here that I got to get some energy, which we are going to be using to buffer a bit. And we can get some sucrose from this. Now I think here it is the bone meal. Yeah, the bone meal is just it is just crouching. Just stay crouched. So that is quite nice. There's it. I don't need to spam the poor shift. Anyway, so we need to get triglyceride, which is in the chemical dissolver you get from dissolving any kind of wool. However, we don't have wool, so we will use the chemical combiner, which is something that we've just got. And I hope this also gives power here. It does. Nice. So for that, we need to, well, first let's get more sucrose. We need to dissolve the sucrose into carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So let's get everything we can. As you can see, inventory is quite quite limited in this modpack. There is just a lot of components that we will need to get. But if we were to target this combiner into the receipt, we can do this by just having a look at the receipt and shift with left click to move items. It will lock the receipt, and we can just throw the items, and we will get whatever we are looking for. In this case, triglyceride. Now I need a bit more sucrose. And if we were to lock the receipt into this, we should be able to get a seed. We actually need 4 seeds. And then we get some dirt and a hole. Now we don't really need that much space for the dirt to grow the seed, as this will just turn back again into dirt because there is no water source nearby. So we can just do this and just hope this grows as quick as possible. Maybe let's also use the other 4 pieces of dirt we have. And after a bit of just shifting, we get our first piece of wheat. So I think with 16 wet, it's going to be more than enough for now, hopefully. We only need 4 pieces of cellulose. For cellulose, we can dissolve wet into both starch and cellulose, although this has quite a low chance. So let's pray with 16 is going to be enough. Yeah, more than enough. 4 of cellulose. It is that there is no sound. There is no sound for the quest. Now, if we were to combine some oxygen together with cellulose, we will get saplings. And these saplings, we should be able to just plant them. And again, by shifting, we should be able to also grow them. Now we also need a bunch of apples. These we can either craft them, or I suppose we can also get them from the trees. Hopefully. Although I'm not getting any apple. So what we can do is just decompose these saplings, or dissolve these saplings. We will need way more. Now we can craft some apples, which is another quest more. And now that we have some wood, we can craft a crafting table and turn this into a crafting station, which will allow us to hold items, as well as access items into chests that are next to the crafting station. That is quite nice. Now the good thing is that with wood, we should be able to craft a bunch of drawers. So let's do our first 4 2x2 drawers. And apart from that, I want to do also a couple of 1x2 drawers. So in the 4x2, I'm thinking of storing for now these complex components. And in these long ones, we can just store the ones that are, single components. So single elements, especially because of a space constraint. We can also put a drawer controller here, so we can just throw the items directly here instead of having to look for them. And of course, we have a little periodic table, which we are going to use later in order to make a proper element drawer system. For now, this goes into the chest. Now the next thing is getting a lot of antimatter. So this is going to be quite fun. So I've got a bit more of antimatter than what we actually need. This is quite a small hole. I was thinking of mining a bit more, but let's first continue to get a better pickaxe. So we get a bit more of white antimatter. These two, we should be able to dissolve them. The grey antimatter will give us silicon dioxide as well as some iron, tungsten and carbon. And the white antimatter should give us, I think, almost the same. No, the white antimatter will give us mainly tungsten, as well as silicon dioxide, which is a stone, basically. So we want the grey one, because the grey one is going to give us iron, and I will need a bit more. But there is it, the essence of the stone. We can get this. We get more chest, and with this we should be able to create a cobblestone. If we put this silicon dioxide in this place. So there is it, a bit more of mining. And before dissolving all of the antimatter I have in my inventory, there is something that we can do. So we've got some tungsten. Tungsten we can get from a lot of sources, but basically we get tungsten from almost every antimatter available. So we do get from the white antimatter, as well from the light gray antimatter. Now our objective is iron. For iron, if we use the light antimatter, we will have a 22.7% chance of getting 1 iron. However, if we were to use gray antimatter, that percentage would go up to 56.8%. How do we get gray antimatter? We only need to convert any kind of antimatter together with some tungsten to get the gray one. So let's do that. Let's grab. We can only do half a stack. That's going to be fine for now. And let's just throw everything into the chemical dissolver. As you can see, we get more iron from it, as well as some tungsten back. So we can do the exact same thing. And dissolve it again. And that should be 48 iron. Well, we have 56. It's a bit more. A bit more than what we actually need. Now, together with this, we also get an iron pickaxe. That is quite nice. For this, we will need another sharpening kit. In this case, it will be the iron sharpening kit, which should be this one. We only need the light gray antimatter as well as some iron ingots. However, if we come into the combiner and we put the iron in this slot right here, we will get iron ingots. We have enough for 9 iron ingots. And with this, we can craft a bucket. Now, we need water. How do we get water? We can get water from combining hydrogen with oxygen. That is quite easy. We need 16 water per each water bucket, so we will need half a stack. If there is still, how do you call this? Infinite water, with half a stack is going to be enough. So it is H2O. So H2O, and we get water. And of course, I need a bit more of energy. There is it, 64 water. I think it is more than what I need. It doesn't matter. We can combine the bucket together with the water to get a bucket of water. And let's put this like maybe here. So let's put one water bucket, and we should be able to do a second water bucket. And hopefully we have infinite water. Nice. Now the next thing is going to be quite an advancement, and it's going to be the evaporator. With the evaporator, we will be able to get mineral salts. So we will need a bunch of stone. And actually, instead of cooking it, what we can do is just dissolve some white antimatter. Let's do a bit more, maybe. Maybe a bit more of light gray antimatter. And that's going to be enough for now. And we can craft some stone directly. We don't have to cook it. But what we do need to do is, of course, produce some energy. We will need a bunch of stone pressure plates. And with this, with more stone, we are getting the evaporator. We need 4 of these. So it's going to be quite a bunch of stone what we need. So there is it, 4 evaporators. Now I think the way evaporators works is that we can just fill up the evaporators with a bunch of water. And this should give us mineral salts. We need to keep filling up all of this as much as we can. And then we only need to leave all of this work. And as you can see, we will be getting mineral salt little by little. So having a bunch of evaporators, more than these 4, would be ideal. But for now, it's going to be enough to get started. Now this mineral salt, we can also dissolve this. And we should be getting a bunch of different minerals. They will give us sodium chloride, lithium, potassium chloride, magnesium, iron, copper, and zinc. And if we were to dissolve both the sodium chloride and the potassium chloride, we would be getting sodium, potassium, as well as some chlorine from both of them. So it is something that we need to quite passive. They will give us a bunch of goodies that we want. However, with this, we are able to get our first free storage system. And that is AE2. That easy. Now I should be able to connect it just yet. Well, sorry, I should be able to connect it now. But really, I don't think we need it right now, so I'll just leave it there. Like set it up, especially because we don't have any passive way of producing energy. I just have this culinary generator. However, we can enter into chapter number 2, the tears of gamers. We have to evaporate a lot of water to get the mineral salts. And of course, with these, we should be able to craft a bunch of colorful antimatters. So quite a big chapter. But I think that's going to be everything for this episode. As always, if you're still here, thank you for watching. And I hope you have a better day, because it can always be better. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. It is good to be back.